Hey, what's going on everybody? It's Turbulent Pulse here, and today I'm going to be talking about Back 4 Blood, the successor to Left 4 Dead in all but name, and a game that I have been extremely excited for and have been waiting to come out, because Left 4 Dead is a game that I used to play with my brother and my friends all the time when I was younger. I loved it. I played it a lot, over and over again. And Back 4 Blood is something that I feel like I can play even more. So, I'm going to be giving a bit of an initial review / assessment and how I feel about the game personally, now that it is finally released. Just so anyone watching who isn't sure about getting it can have my take on things. To start with, replayability. I feel like this game is going to have even more replayability than Left 4 Dead ever did, and that starts with the card system and the supply lines. I love the way they've implemented cards. I love what they do. I love how they feel. How they have upsides and downsides, and you can create custom decks based on whatever you want, whether that be ARs or healing or melee only, whatever. Point is, the game feels good, and it's going to have a lot of replayability, in my opinion, because of the card system and the maps change every time you go through. They have corruption cards, which change different side objectives or bosses or whatever you end up going up against. Trauma. Trauma is an interesting addition. Not entirely sure how I feel about it, but it does make things more difficult. In between rounds and as you go on and take damage, your max health slowly decreases because of trauma. And the only way to heal trauma is different cards will take away the amount of trauma damage you take. There are heals that you can get on walls that will replenish trauma on top of actually healing you. Trauma is interesting. It keeps things fun. It keeps things difficult. It's another added depth to the game that I really enjoy. Then you have the guns and the gunplay. I love how the guns feel. I love how the guns sound. Overall, I hope they add more just for variety's sake, because that would be great. They have plenty in there now, but who doesn't want more weapons to work with? The way you do attachments feels good. All the attachments do different things. You have different levels of quality in attachments. Love it all. However, I do want to be able to take attachments off of a weapon I already have in order to put them on a new weapon, especially going from an AR to an AR, or an SMG to an SMG, or whatever. Even if they want to make attachments specifically for a weapon type instead of just being all around. That way, if I get really lucky and find a golden mag or a golden stock or something for one of the starting weapons on a round, I can continue on to put that on a higher quality weapon as I go on, and trade up to a green AR or a blue AR or whatever as I go, and not just leave behind those lucky attachments you found. Enemies. There's quite a bit of diversity. The enemies don't all look the same, even in the specialties, or I forget exactly what they're called. But even in the special infected, there are different types. There are, like on the tall boys, there's ones that grab you, there's ones that slam you, there's retchers, which are sort of like boomers and puke on you, but they've also split that, where there's one that comes closer and just explodes. Enemy types feel good. The bosses are fun. The base enemies, everything. I love it all. I love the dynamics of the maps. However, I got the game on console because of nostalgia for Left 4 Dead, because I always played it on the Xbox 360. I got it on PC and I played through it like once or twice later on, but Xbox was where I played it the most. Now, console doesn't feel like the right fit on this game for me, yet at least. I need to mess with my settings some more, but if the aim assist feels sticky, it feels clunky, it does not feel nearly as good as the beta that I played on the PC. So I think I'm going to end up getting it on PC as well, see how that changes, see how I feel about it from there, and then I'll decide on how things go. Now to talk about the implementation of copper. I'm really glad they did this instead of keeping it like how in Left 4 Dead, any weapons you got or whatever, it was just as you found them. The safe rooms were stocked up with meds or whatever at the beginning of each round. But in Back 4 Blood, you have a shop right at the beginning of each map where you can spend the copper that you've spent the time to collect in the previous map and to do any bonus objectives. It gives you plus however many copper you end up getting for it, or everyone escaping alive you get bonus copper, and you can use that to buy what you want. Instead of hoping that I find a Molotov and frag grenade or whatever, you can buy specifically what you want as long as you have the copper to do so, including team upgrades, which is one of my favorite things. You can spend copper on different bonuses, like making healing items better, having more offensive item slots, like for grenades or pipe bombs or what have you. Also, the characters. All of the characters are unique. They all have their different specialties and abilities, and they all contribute different things to the team and themselves, which I like. It adds different dynamics to actually playing specific characters for specific builds. Like, there's one that would be better for a melee run, there's one that would be better for a sniper run, or whatever you want to do. The characters play into that just as much as the cards do. They have their own buffs and benefits, and they're all just very unique personalities as well. I feel like that was really well done. From the beta until now, they have increased the spawn rate for Special Infected, which I feel like that's kind of nice. It keeps you on your toes really well. It makes you really keep an eye out, because the Special Infected can and will decimate a team. They feel good, they feel strong, they feel special for sure. I haven't tried that on higher difficulties yet, because I've played a couple levels through, got a good feel for the game, but I just did it on casual for now to just see how I feel about it, get a good kind of baseline before I play on Veteran or Nightmare, which I think I'm probably going to go with Veteran whenever I actually go for a whole playthrough, but we'll see. The implementation of friendly fire is nice, because it makes things more difficult. It keeps you on your toes. You actually have to have some level of skill and communication to make sure you're not just accidentally walking in front of your teammate and losing half of your health. They've implemented character customization to be able to change people's outfits, as well as skins for different weapons, including the melee weapons. I'm not entirely sure how you earn most of them, but they seem like they will be fun to try and get and equip and show off or whatever. The firing range is a really cool aspect that I personally enjoy a lot. It's a good way to try out all the different weapons, get a feel for them, get a feel for the different attachments, and see damage numbers on how they actually affect your gun. It's a good way to get a feel for what weapons you want to specifically look for, what attachments you want, putting actual numbers to the plus 5% damage or plus 3% damage or whatever it is without having to do the math yourself, feeling recoil, all of that. The firing range is one of my favorite additions. They implemented quite a few levels into the game, more so than I even expected to start with, and from the sounds of it, I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up adding more levels, more acts, more just things to do in the game. I would be extremely happy with it. I wouldn't at all be surprised. I feel like they've done a good job taking the Left 4 Dead feel and updating it and upgrading it and bringing it into video games of this time, and really it has the core Left 4 Dead experience without feeling like you're playing an older game. It's a good combination. Overall, I think it is a fantastic game. I think it is worth the money. And I definitely feel like if you played Left 4 Dead 1 or 2 and enjoyed them, that you will enjoy this game, and you should definitely get it and check it out and see for yourself. I'm definitely going to play through several times, I'm sure. Grind out some of the supply points, get some cool cards, try and unlock all the cool skins and weapon camos and whatever. All that being said, I don't think I really have much more to say on the game. So, I hope you all enjoyed. I will see you all next time, and this is Turbulent Pulse, signing off.